You're about to watch a video that's an excerpt of one of my online courses, free sample if you will. If you enjoy it, please get in touch, dan@brojo.org, and let me know what you think. Let's talk about some of the most common mistakes I see when people are making confrontations. In this video, we're going to focus on the mindset mistakes, the psychological errors you might make. Trying to win. I know I'm repeating myself here. But winning means to beat the other person, where you get something and they lose something, where you defeat them in some way. Not only is this needy, it's detrimental to the relationship. And you're missing the opportunity for the win-win. So generally, you want to go into a confrontation thinking, how do we both get something out of this, rather than how do I just get what I want? Being attached to outcomes, a good result, validation and approval, a calm, enjoyable confrontation, not needing to speak about this again. There's all kinds of outcomes we hope for, and this leads us to be needy, manipulative. It leads us to fear actually having the confrontation in the first place because we don't think we can get the outcome we want. Generally, it's detrimental to your ability to set a boundary. Instead, be attached to integrity. Be attached to building your confidence, attached to speaking boldly and honestly, attached to respecting yourself, attached to taking responsibility for what needs to be taken care of, and measuring yourself against these things. That should be the reason for going in. Be prepared to lose the outcomes in order to keep integrity. Catastrophizing, blowing it up in your mind that this is going to be some huge disaster. It's very, very rare that a confrontation gets into the point where somebody's badly hurt. Fact is, you can actually bail out of a confrontation that's escalating in that direction anyway. You don't have to stay in until it turns into a disaster. You can literally run away. So rather than thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's the worst way that this can possibly play out? Tell yourself, look, let's see what actually happens. And if it gets bad, I'll leave. And if it gets good, I'll, take that lucky win. Feeling a need for them to cooperate. This is similar to being attached to outcomes or even trying to win. Going in there hoping that they're going to react well, hoping that they're going to get along with you, that they want what you want. Being attached to that is obviously setting yourself up for disappointment and tragedy. Rather, it's best to go in with a backup plan for stubborn disrespect. Go in knowing that if they don't cooperate, you have a plan for how you're going to respond to that. You have enforcement actions you're going to take. You have pivot actions. If they're in control of something in your life, you've got a way of taking that control back. Whatever it is where you don't actually need them to cooperate. Remember, you really never need someone to cooperate. That's just a story in your head. There is always a way for you to move on independently. This idea of picking your battles. I especially do not recommend this mental approach for somebody who's afraid of confrontation and not really well experienced or very effective at doing it. To begin with, all battles are worth fighting. I don't care how petty and small the problem is, you need practice. In fact, the smaller and more petty and unimportant it is, the easier it is to use it as a practice event because the stakes aren't very high. So never believe your mind when it says this one's not worth it, it's not worth the bother, worth the hassle, it's not that big a deal. Don't believe it when your mind says that. Say, okay, well then that's great practice opportunity because the stakes are low, so I better take this opportunity. Assuming it's pointless because you know how they're going to react, right? Like you can simulate this perfectly in your head, and it ends badly, so there's no point in actually going through with it in real life. This is actually more, again, attachment to outcomes. You're saying, I'm not going to get the outcome I want, therefore it's not worth doing. But integrity is always worth doing. The outcome is not important. So if nothing else, remember, every single confrontation has the point of you respecting yourself. It does not matter if they react badly. It doesn't even matter if they walk away halfway through your first sentence and refuse to listen to you. The fact that you tried to stand up for yourself is how you feel self-respected. And if nothing else, your simulation is probably wrong. Even if you know someone really well, they might not react exactly how you think they're going to. And when you don't know someone really well, you're almost certainly going to be wrong. Thinking silence is neutral. Thinking, hey, if I just keep my mouth shut and don't confront the person, don't say anything, don't agree, but don't disagree, well, at least I'm not really taking a stand. Actually, you are. Silence is consent. It's condoning. Silence is agreement. If someone says something you don't like and you don't speak, it is reasonable and likely that they will perceive that as you agreeing with them. So don't think that silence is nothing. Silence is you pretending to agree. And that's how you should view it. Assuming malicious intent, that is, assuming that whatever they've said or done that you don't like had the primary motivation of trying to harm you. Like that's all they care about. Like they wake up in the morning thinking, oh, how do I get this guy today? Oh, here's what I'll do. As if they don't have anything more important to care about. But at the same time, you don't want to assume that they love you and that they're trying their best to help you if it's certain people who you can't be sure that that's the case. What I like to assume instead is kind of normal human imperfection. One of us is being imperfect here, probably both. Maybe I'm being too sensitive and misinterpreting things. Maybe this is not the healthiest way that they could be acting towards me. Maybe both. But the likelihood that they're sadistic psychopaths whose whole purpose in life is to ruin mine, it's very, very unlikely. Possible, but very unlikely. It's much more likely that they think they're in the right and that this is the best that they could come up with and they don't have a better way of doing this, or I'm too sensitive to behavior that's actually quite objectively neutral. Either way, let's find out. Let's keep an open mind that they're not actually an evil person. If I'm proven wrong, so be it. Doesn't matter if I'm proven wrong because I'll react to that in a helpful way. But let's not start by sentencing them before they've even had their day in court. And lastly, delaying without an extremely good reason. Fear's chief tactic to keep you from having a confrontation is to just put it off. It can do this indefinitely. It can keep coming up with a new reason to put it off day after day, minute by minute if it needs to. So when your brain says, oh, now's not the right time, you've got to challenge it and say, really? I can't bring it up at all? I can't even go and set a time with them to talk about it later? I can't flick them a text message saying, hey, I need to talk to you about something. Let me know when you've got a minute. Like, there's really nothing you can do to make progress on this unless they're distraught with grief because they just received news that their whole family died in a car crash, or they are literally in the middle of surgery and they're unconscious right now. Odds are you probably can bring this up, right? If it really seems like it's not a good time and you're really sure you'll bring it up later, then say that to them. Say, look, I've got something I need to talk to you about, but I can see this is really not a good time for you. But when you've got a minute, I'll bring it up with you later. There are other mindset issues that get in the way, but these are the top ones that I see with my clients. And if you can tackle these, which are all really just excuses not to speak your mind or not to be compassionate during a confrontation, then you're bound to have better confrontations just from the way you think. Are you a nice guy or people pleaser who wishes they were more assertive, more honest, and better respected by others? Since 2013, I've been helping people just like you discover their integrity and apply it courageously to build deep and meaningful connections, get respected by others, and become the confident person you've always wanted to be. Imagine being able to speak your mind without worrying what other people will think or worrying that it's the right thing to say, and being able to assertively stand up for yourself and your loved ones. Imagine never feeling the need to apologize for who you are or what you want, and being able to live carefree without shame or the I'm not good enough story in your head. Imagine going to bed knowing that you courageously took every opportunity available to you and you've got no regrets because you always know what you should be doing in every situation. I'm so confident in my ability to help people like you unleash your highest level of self-worth that I give people a free coaching session to test what I'm doing. In this 1-hour session, we will uncover the biggest barrier to your confidence, whether it's an awareness problem, you don't know what you should be doing differently, or it's a courage problem, you know what you should be doing, but you find it too intimidating. I will guide you to make a breakthrough with your behavior to get through that barrier in a powerful way without feeling terrified and without destroying everything you love. I've had some people find this first session so powerful that I never hear from them again simply because they didn't need anything more after that. It launched them into the highest level of confidence that they've ever experienced. And if that's the result you get, I'm good with that. One client put it, this session was more valuable to me than 3 years of therapy combined. So if you're tired of trying to keep everybody happy and you're sick of worrying what other people think of you, and you're concerned that your people-pleasing and conflict avoidance is going to damage your relationships, then come and have a talk with me. Worst case scenario, you get to experience what it's like to talk with someone who actually understands what it's like to be you. I've lived the nice guy experience for decades. I know it inside and out. I know that pain. Worst case scenario, and very likely, you will have such a powerful insight into a behavioral change that you can make in the next 24 hours to significantly improve your confidence, relationships, and career. All I ask is that you be honest, open to change, and willing to try something new. Why wait another 10 years to discover confidence when you can do it today? Fill out the brief form below to apply for a trial coaching session. Do this quickly because there are limited spots each month, and then I'll get back to you to book in a time to talk.